Welcome to Doron Yoga, everyone. Thanks, Kasha, for joining us. Today we're going to do a relatively short practice focusing on releasing tension from the back, a bit strengthening, a bit stretching, all around, a bit of core. It's going to be for all levels, but anything, if you have something serious, please check with a doctor. If it's not too bad, just do what feels right for you. If it gets too intense, stop, take a break, join us when you can. Okay? Remember, more than anything, maintain nice deep breathing. Okay? So let's start here just for a second to get that breathing going. Sit as tall as you can be and try to feel the breath riding through the spine. Really see how the breath goes up, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way to the back of your head. And then as you release, also imagine it releasing tension from the spine. Try not to lose that tall spine. And one more time, again, feel how it goes from the tailbone all the way up and massages the back, massages all the way to the back of the head. And as you release, a sense of releasing of tension from mind, from shoulders. Beautiful. One more thing to remember, the bandhas, especially today, focus on keeping Uddiyana Bandha, the belly slightly in and up. This will really, really help support your back. And if you take anything away from this practice today, take this Uddiyana Bandha, use it throughout the day, all the time. You're sitting, you're working. This will really help protect your back so that this practice will be very efficient. Let's start laying down. Why not? Having fun today. So lay down on your back and bring the knees to the chest. Give yourself a little hug here. Roll a bit, mini circles with your hips, with your lower back. Remember to breathe. And to the other direction. And back to center. Feet on the ground. Move the hips over to the right side. Take the knees over to the left. A little supine twist. Your gaze goes towards the right. If it feels good for you, you're welcome to wrap the legs a little more advanced. See what feels good for your spine. Remember, it's a release. And I find that every exhale is an opportunity to really feel tension, pain, whatever it may be, leave the body. Stress releases away. Finding softness and ease. You can notice, even for me, just taking 2-3 deep exhales, how my voice changed a bit. I can already feel like this was worth the whole showing up. Let's do the other side, coming back to center. The hips will move over to the left. The knees will go over to the right. Gaze over to the left. Maintaining the breath. The soft, deep exhales. Slowly make your way back up. Uncross the legs if you have. Bring the knees one more time to the chest. Beautiful. Straighten the legs down. Walk the legs over to the left side as much as they'll go. Take the right leg and put it on top of the left. And just try to get a bit of a stretch here through the right side of the body. I need to really work on keeping the right hip down. This helps me with it. Optional, take the gaze to the right if it makes it feel better for you, not a must. And then coming back to center. We'll go to the other direction, other side. I know, sometimes it feels like, can I stay here another hour? Absolutely. Pause, stay longer, and join us later. Again, the legs went to the right, the left leg went over. Both shoulders on the ground. And remember, a big part of this practice is not just how you position your body, but the state of your mind. You're welcome to close your eyes when we're in these poses and just really allow yourself to release completely. Coming back to center. One more time, knees to the chest. Rolling back and forth, we're going to come up to sit. Beautiful. Coming onto all fours. And a bit of delicious pose, which I think is really amazing any time of day. Just moving the hips in circles, but really make sure you're moving up, down, and all around. Just focus on your lower back here. You can move slow. Try to almost imagine like there's this magical, beautiful white light, or if you're into oils, beautiful olive oil going through your lower back, oiling it, softening it, going in the opposite direction. And then back to neutral. Take your knees wide apart, lower down to child's pose. Keep your hands stretching forward. Either lower the forehead down and let that be a release. If that's easy for you and you want a little more, you can try and bring the chest and chin towards the ground. Make sure your forehead is relaxed. Again, just listening to the sound of Ujjayi breath, the deep, soft exhales with a hint of a sound. Back to all fours, please. Take the right leg up and really make sure you got the core engaged, right? The belly is tucking in, kissing your lower back. Either stay here or try to take the left arm forward in front of you. Take a moment here, and for some of us, this is where we're going to stay, right? If you feel your back here, stay. If you want a little core work here, as you exhale, knee in, elbow in. And as you inhale, stretch, reach out. A few more times. Exhale as you curl. Inhale as you extend, expand. Move with breath. Hold. By all means, stay here. This is great. A little more advanced. Reach back for your right foot and open a mini little back bend. Again, most of us live in forward folds most of the day. So just a bit of opening the back and release. Good news, you all. We have the second side. Here we go. Left leg up. Stay here, or optional, right arm up. See what feels right for you. Staying here, and this can be great. If you want to do the core as you exhale, bring the knee in, bring the elbow in, and inhale, reach out. Exhale, slow, smooth, with control. Beautiful. One last one. Hold for a moment. Remember, you can stay here, or optional, go for a little bit of the back bend. Right, the foot presses a bit into the hand. Chest lifts. My belly is still lifting in towards the back to support the lower back. And release. Good. Take child's pose one more time. Knees wide. And back up to all fours. Bring your right foot forward between the hands. You're going into a low lunge. And either stay here with the hands down. For some of us, this is enough. Some of you will bring the hands up to the knee. So really, we're stretching the psoas, and some of you can say, Doron, what's this got to do with the back? But your psoas, which really tightens as you sit down in a chair, or as you do any sports, or just walking, is connected through the hips to your lower back. And so a tight psoas can really affect our back. And so there's almost no day that goes by without me doing this pose. So simple, so lovely, really important and effective. So by all means, always do it. Hands on the hips adds a bit more weight. So if that's too intense for you, keep the hands down on the ground. Belly a bit in, lift slightly in the chest, relax the shoulders, and breathe. Beautiful. Just for 2-3 breaths, we're going to straighten the front leg. A hint of hamstrings can never hurt. Try to keep the spine elongating, reaching forward, almost like you're trying to bring your drishti, your gaze, towards the toes. Nice. Back to tabletop, to all fours. One quick second, do one round of delicious, or 2 rounds to each direction. Nice, and then left foot forward. Keep the right knee down for low lunge, a variation of Anjaneyasana. Hands can be on the ground. If even this is a bit challenging, you can use blocks or books underneath your hands. If this is easy enough, and sometimes it gets easy after a few breaths, right? I highly recommend, like you see Kasha doing, and starting at one place, letting it open up, letting it release, and then either stay, or if it does feel after a few breaths, okay, now I can go deeper. She raised her hands up higher. Right? Patience is a virtue, maybe one of the most important ones. And sometimes patience towards your own body is really important. So many times we believe that this body should do everything we tell it. But it's like a car. You kind of own it, but it's not you, who you are. It's something you're using. And so use it wisely, take good care of it, be patient, be loving, and always add to it, right, the breath. Breathing nice, smooth, and deeply is almost like you're whispering to your body, I love you. That's the language of the body. The breath is the love to the body. Great, let's go and straighten the left leg just for a few breaths. Oof, sometimes coming out of the pose is the hardest part, right? Then you feel your psoas and you're like, I chihuahua. Remember to try and keep the spine somewhat long here. Of course, you're going to round a bit, but just have that intention. Release. Hands and knees. This time we're going to do cat-cows. So inhale, chest up, gaze up, drop the belly. Exhale, chin to the chest, round the back, belly in. Inhale, looking forward, open the heart space. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, bring the chin in. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you round and belly comes in. Inhale. Maybe see if as you exhale you can even lift a bit the pelvic floor. and come to neutral. Beautiful. Take a moment break here, and we'll meet in downward dog. Plant the hands, tuck the toes under, reach back. And for many of us, if the back is tight, if the legs are tight, you'll need to go wider with the legs, maybe even bring them a bit closer to the hands. If it's easy, feet hip width apart. Bend one knee at a time, just release the legs a bit. Cool. Walk the feet to the front of the mat. Take them hip width or a bit wider. Forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to. Hold the elbows. Hang here. If this is really intense, bend the knees a lot. If this is easy enough, straighten the legs and shift the weight towards the toes. Belly is tucking in, head and neck completely relaxed. It's really nice to allow the spine to hang in the opposite direction as it usually does. Right? Letting the vertebrae instead of stack always on the hip. It's almost like you're doing a headstand, except there's no pressure on the head and neck. This is another one of those lovely poses that I recommend doing daily. Just, you don't even need to really warm up much for this. Just hang out, take 10 breaths, 20 breaths, 5 minutes. Mind is soft and steady. You're sending love, good energies throughout the body, especially the spine. Release the hands. Bend the knees, slowly rolling up. Let the head and neck be last. Nice. A few circles with the head and neck. That is part of our spine. It also affects our back. They are all connected. Go as slow as you need to, just to gain a bit of release. Cool. And then slowly come back to center. We're going to start with a bit of hips. We've done a lot of hip circles. We're going to do a few more here. Just again, it really helps release the lower back. You don't have to go very fast, but try to really isolate your movements. So you're really going side, forward, side, back. Try to not do it all from the knees like I'm showing now. I don't feel anything in the back. The knees do move, but try to really feel the movement in the hips, in the lower back. Switch direction, please. Kind of like a belly dancer, I assume. I wouldn't know. This is another thing you can just, at work, get up, do a few rounds, sit down. Let your colleagues smile at you and say, "What are you doing?" and invite them over to join. Okay, back to neutral. We're going to do a bit of the wave. Again, go slow and gentle. For the wave, we're going to just start by bending the knees, moving them forward, then the hips forward, then the belly, chest, head last. Do this a few times. And then poof, throw yourself down. And just really kind of opening up the space between the vertebrae. Two more. Beautiful. Coming back to standing. Shake it all away. Shake your legs, shake your arms. Nice, everybody. Okay, we're going to return to the ground. We'll pretend like we're doing somewhat of a sun salute. So inhale, arms up. Stay here for a moment. And really try to feel your tailbone down and your upper spine lifting up, your head reaching to the sky, fingertips reaching up. Now relax the shoulders down towards the shoulder blades. My lower ribs are sticking out. I'm going to try and pull them in a little bit. Just hold here for a moment. Bring the hands back to the heart and release them by the sides. Now see if you can have the same spine standing here. Simple samastitihi, simple standing correctly, where the tailbone is slightly under, the belly supporting the lower back. Shoulders relaxed. Here we go. Inhale, arms up over the head. Gaze comes up. Take one extra breath here. Feel the space in the spine. And as you forward fold, maybe bend the knees. Exhale. All the way down. Let the head release. Inhale. Lengthen. Look forward. Keep the hands on the ground. Bend the knees as much as you need to for this. Step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. Hold plank for a moment. And try to keep the belly tucking in. Try to keep the belly tucking in. Right, so we're really holding our spines. If this is too much, you can do the same thing with the knees down. And in slow motion, we're going to lower to the belly. With or without the knees, that's fine. Oh, she did slower than me. I cheated. Cool. Arms alongside the body. Take a breath here. Walk the feet a little further back from your hips. And then we're going to bring the arms to under the chin and just lift the right leg up. Take a moment here. And you can feel the back, right? For some of us, we lift a bit higher, some less. Try not to turn the toes to the sides or in. Just keep them as they are. And release. Second leg, left leg up. Try also, and this is a bit harder, not to lift the left hip too far off the ground. If you can, both hip bones touching the ground, lower down. Now you have two options. One option is to stay exactly as you are and repeat what we just did. Another option is to take the arms forward. And then from here, we're going to take the right leg up and the left arm up. And you'll see if this is too much for your lower back, just skip the arms, just do the legs, build it up over time. I'm actually walking a bit with my right hand to create more length in the spine, lifting a bit more in my left arm, a bit more with my right leg. And yeah, this, you can feel it in the back. It's a bit of a back bend, but also a back strengthening. Couple more breaths, keep the eyes soft. Release down. Move your hips a bit from side to side. And you all know the good news, right? Here we go. Second side. Left leg up. Optional stay here. Optional right arm up. Please breathe. See if you can let your eyes sparkle. Have a sense of gratitude. Right? Like, wow, I'm doing this. This is awesome. Breathe that love and gratitude into your back. You are the healer. Release down. Bring the hands in. Move your hips a bit from side to side. We're going to go into Sphinx pose. Forearms down on the ground, elbows underneath the shoulders, hands pressing down, and then pull your chest forward. Your pubic bone is still on the ground, and really my intention is my floating ribs moving forward. Right? So not just lifting up to crunch my lower back, but rather floating ribs forward, tailbone down. This creates a lot of space in L4-5, the lumbar spine, where most of us tend to feel some pain. That's because they're lovely. The L4-5 can bend a lot, but if they're not done in the right way, they can also start to pinch and hurt. Shoulders relax. Some of us will stay here a few more breaths, and this already feels delicious. Some of you will lift to a medium cobra, so the elbows lift up, and then the shoulders are back. Still, I'm not just pressing up, but rather feeling my chest, my lower ribs moving forward. You don't even need to look far up. Actually, look a bit forward, or close your eyes, and surrender into the pose, sending good vibes to your back. Nice, lower down and press it back into a wide knee. Child's pose, please. Let your chest surrender towards the ground. Once more, either forehead down, or if it feels good for you to bring the chin forward, that's awesome. In this case, you'll really have to see how you feel today. Beautiful, everybody. Okay, come on up. So we're going to do one more back bend before we go for some twist and forward folds. We're going to do the half camel, which I find to be, again, one of those really delicious, super great poses. What it means is that we're going to be on the knees, and if you need to put extra padding under the knees, right arm will come up, a bit across, and back bend. Remember as you do that your chest, your sternum is constantly lifting up, belly tucking slightly in, so that you do not collapse into the L4-5. Yoga can either heal you, like most things, and the right dose is done right, it's super great. If you do it wrong, it can actually damage. So really maintain this length. You can keep the hand on the left hand, in this case, with the hand that doesn't go back, on the hip, on the toes tucked under, or for those flexible enough, on the heel, okay? So when you're coming up, inhale and lengthen, and as you go into it, exhale. And when I'm going for a little bit of a twist, I'm bringing my right hand towards my left side and pushing my right hip a bit forward, and the whole side of my back is feeling super delicious. The nice thing about this is that it really opens the back, actually all the way to the shoulder, but without going right into the vertebrae. So breathe another 3. As you inhale, maybe release the arm first and then come up, so there's not too much weight to come up. If you need a child's pose, go ahead. Otherwise, we're going right for the second side. Once more, lengthening first with an inhale, then start to lean back, and then add the arm. And if it's too much, simply you can keep the hand on the chest or the hand on the hip. It doesn't have to go up and over. Left hip moves a bit forward. Chest keeps coming up. Last few breaths. Beautiful. Arm first, and the back and the head. Take a child's pose once more. You can take the knees wide. If you want to take the arms alongside the body or over your hips, you can even do a little tapping on your lower back as Kasha is showing you. That's kind of lovely as well for the release. And then coming back up, we're going to take our seats, please. We're going to start with a seated twist. So bending the left knee. And if you can, take the right foot over and across. And then take the left hand, option 1, and hug the knee. Option 2, go across the right thigh. Twisting over to the right side. Place the right hand on the ground or the fingertips. And begin to move your right shoulder over to the right side. Feel free to bend a bit in the right elbow so you can actually go deeper into your spine, into your back. It's okay if today you won't be the straightest, as we normally really encourage you to do. Press the left elbow towards the left, the right towards the right, and really open up your spine. Really, every exhale is a sense of release. Back to center. We're going to switch sides. Release the legs. Opposite legs, right knee bent down. Left foot comes across. Right arm either hugs or goes over. Similar to second series where we hold the leg. And then from here, left lengthen and twist over to the left. Once more, hand down or fingers down. Bend a bit in the left elbow, take the gaze to the left. Coming back to center. You may need to sit on a block for this next one, Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees to the side. And so if you need to sit, elevate your hips, open the feet, belly in and lengthen. So today, just instead of the collapsing version, try to take the hands forward and really work on tilting the hips forward, and from there lengthening a bit in the spine. Okay? And for some of us, may be a must to sit on a block. That's okay if your hips are completely collapsing back. I'm really tucking the belly in. If you've done this and this is easy enough, some of you may be able to lower the forearms down. This requires quite open hips, so if it's not happening today, remember, there's always another class or another 10,000 classes. It almost feels like the first time today, though I've been doing this for, who knows, more than 25 years now. If all this is easy for you, just last few breaths, you can walk the arms forward, and then like we did in the Sphinx, try to pull the chest a bit forward to create a tiny bit length in the spine. Stay last 3 breaths, wherever that is. And slowly coming up. So instead of our seated forward folds, we're going to finish the forward folds on the back. You may need a strap, which can be a belt, a rope, anything, a shirt. Slowly lower down to your spine. When you're almost on the back, stop for a second, or if you lower it all the way, lift up. Just feel your core working for a second and smile. And lower all the way down. Left knee bent, right leg up. Either a strap over the right foot, or if you can, hold it with your peace sign fingers. If you have long arms like me, maybe even you reach your foot. If your right leg is almost straight and beyond 90 degrees, meaning it's moving closer to your head and you're not screaming yet, by all means go ahead and straighten the left leg down. But if you can barely bring the right leg straight and definitely not forward, bend the left knee, you'll see that'll give you a little extra space. Stay here for a few breaths. Left hand can be on the left thigh if the leg is straight down. If you do have the left knee bending, straighten the left leg to the ground. Start to move the right foot over to the left. You may need to bend the knee a little bit or a lot. You may even need the strap right now. If you can, eventually you'll hold the outer edge of the right foot with your left hand and take it over in a cross. Bent knee is totally reasonable and fine. As you straighten the leg, not only it stretches the back of the leg, but also the connection with the hips. And as you lower the right shoulder down, even a bit of a twist. This is really amazing for all the connection between the leg and the back and the hips. And then really find a few deep exhales here. This can be intense. Slowly release the leg coming up and release it to the ground. We're going to take the second side, so left leg up. Once more, either hold the peace sign fingers, the strap, the foot, whatever is reasonable for you. Remember, start with right knee bend. Only if it's easy enough, straighten the right leg. Don't be a hero. Be honest. Practice satya. What is good for you today? Breathing all the while. Stay present. A yogic mind or a Zen mind is developed through constant practice, through the detachment of the result, for simply showing up and doing the best that you can. We're going to go across. So if your right knee is bent, straighten it to the ground. If you can, take the right hand to the right foot or take a strap. Go across. Knee bending is fine. Over time, try to straighten the leg. Surrender completely. Let this left shoulder surrender down. Really train your mind to stay focused on the breath. Slowly release, bring the leg up and release it down to the ground. Bring the knees up and hug them into the chest. Roll a bit from side to side to release, last time from the back. We've done a bit of forward folds, a bit of back bends, lots of twist, some work. Time to release and relax. So straighten and lower down to Savasana. If you find that your spine is a bit sensitive right now, please place a bolster, a big pillow, something, 2 blocks underneath your knees. This will help ease it. If all that is still uncomfortable, you can lay down on your side. And as you're here, just bring your awareness to the breath. Once more, notice the breath as it goes through the spine. Visualize space between the vertebrae. Release of any leftover tension. Feel how your shoulder blades are melting into the mat, into the ground. Feel the slight pressure of the tailbone down on the mat. Let it feel like it's releasing, relaxing. Now just take a couple of breaths and really feel flow of soft, loving energy from feet to head to fingertips, all through your body. Bend the knees and bring them into your chest. One more hug. Maybe roll onto your right side. You can place the left arm underneath your head to rest. Slowly make your way up to sit. Any comfortable position. Just feel for a moment your spine. Send gratitude to the spine. It's still there, even if sometimes with pain it works. It does its best. Set your intention to maybe pay attention to how you're sitting and walking throughout the day. Can you use your bandhas more often, supporting the belly? And remember, this practice is not only for somebody that has any injury, it's for anybody. So come back to this. Even if you've done one of our other practices an hour long and you want to do this in the afternoon or in the evening, this is a great add-on to any other practice you've done with us. Or on days where you feel like, okay, you have less time or less energy. So practice this often. Let us know how it feels for you in the comments. And share it maybe with some friends and people that need it. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you all so, so very much. Namaste.